So welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K25 Next Gen. In today's video, we are back with another weekly rebuild challenge, and today it is the rookie contract rebuild. Now this is a challenge I have done in previous 2Ks. We're going to kick this one off as we pretty much always do using a fantasy draft, and the way this video is going to work is the one and only end goal throughout it is going to be winning a championship. Now, if you could not tell by the title and thumbnail, every single player that is going to be in this rotation has to be on a rookie scale contract. So no extensions whatsoever. I'm not allowed to sign free agents. Everybody that is going to be the 10 players on this team that are going to be playing all have to be on their rookie deals. I'll touch upon some of the more details once we get into the rebuild, but if I'm remembering correctly, this one's pretty challenging. We're going to go ahead and select a team in just a moment. Of course, as always, we'll randomly scroll through just so nobody thinks there's any cheating going on or anything like that. But something else I want to note just in case it was not clear. Once a player's rookie contract expires, they're gone. So if for some reason I decide to keep a player that it's expiring in year 2 on this team, which I likely will not do, they're gone. I cannot re-sign them under any circumstances. They cannot, accept their qualifying offer or anything. It is the 4 years on the rookie deal. That is it. Those are the only players that I am allowed to use here today. So let's go ahead and randomly select a team. I will close my eyes. We will scroll through. I am somehow hoping we end up with number 1, so Victor Wembanyama can be my guy. Stop. We end up with the Lakers. Funny enough, 2K loves the Lakers. Let's maybe see if they give me a little bit of luck today. We are not in the top 10. That sucks. Jokic goes number 1. SGA. Wow, Wemby actually fell all the way to number 4. Minnesota's going to get lucky there. So, oh my God. Not great. What are we picking? Number 21? Okay, so the good news is that it does not appear that there's a lot of super young players outside of Victor Wembanyama going that are on rookie contracts. Now, the way this is going to work is I have to draft somebody that's either a rookie or a second-year player because, of course, I can accept their team options. That's still technically their rookie deal, but after that, they're done. So I'm going to have to trade whoever I do get if they are in the 3rd or 4th year of their rookie contract. So we're going to sort this by age. I think that's probably the way it makes the most sense. Now, Stephon Castle jumps out at me immediately. He's certainly an impact player here for a rookie already at an 84 overall. I do want to look at some of the second-year players as well, just kind of sorting by age right now. Of course, that's not everything, but just curious. Really, whoever we draft here is not going to be, nearly as good as some of the top guys on the board, like a Damian Lillard, if you will. All right, Amen Thompson also sitting here. So he is in his 2nd season, which means we will have control of him the entire video. Oh, I can't see his contract right now, but we could have control of him the entire time. I think I'm going to take Amen Thompson. Now, I don't know where I'm going to play him, but I think it makes a lot of sense. And then hopefully on the back end of this, I'm able to get Stephon Castle. I think that'd be a really nice kind of 1-2 punch there. So Amen Thompson went to the team. Oh, fuck, I forgot about Chet. Actually, Chet's in his 3rd year, isn't he, technically? All right, we are now picking, and we are now on the board here once again. Stephon Castle still sitting here. I think he makes the most sense. Again, a rookie contract. Also, I didn't mention it, but making 5 picks today instead of the normal 3. There would be a lot of really, useless and just time-taking trades if I didn't do that. So I'll let the CPU draft some other guys. Of course, we're going to have to make some moves before we get into year number 1. But we got the 2 guys I was really kind of looking for at this point. And again, we're going to have to stay relatively young as we make our way through this. So Zachary Rizichet also sitting here, rookie. I know develops relatively well. Probably not a bad pick. I just want to look at the 20-year-old. It's going to be Jared McCain sitting here. Scooter Henderson, Koulibaly as well. I think Rizichet makes the most sense for me. And then we're going to make 2 more draft picks here. Again, I understand it's a few more than what we typically do, but just trying to get the best team possible. G.G. Jackson, so he has 3 years left. So you can see the contracts here. He could be here the entire video, of course. Only a 3-year rebuild. Cody Williams, Tijan Salon, Nikola Topic is sitting here. How about the 20-year-old? So Jared McCain's still here. Khalil Ware, though, I think makes some sense just because we don't have a big man at this point. So Khalil Ware is going to be my pick. All right, we're going to probably get pretty damn close to completing this starting 5, and then from there, we'll let the CPU do the rest of it. And then again, we're still going to be making a lot of trades. It's not like this team's going to be completely set here for year 1. And then G.G. Jackson may actually be my final pick. Ron Holland also sitting here. What do I want to do? What am I feeling here? 20-year-olds. Donovan Clingan is sitting here. Anthony Black, another really viable option. Cam Whitmore, Batas Bazelis. Ooh, I like a lot of these players. I really do. I just know Anthony Black develops super well, but point guard's not really a huge need right now with Cass. You know what? I'm still going to take him. We'll figure it out after this. Sim the rest of this. I'll see you guys with the team. You all obviously saw the 5 picks I went ahead and made. Let's see what the CPU did, and hopefully it is nothing too bad. So we drafted Amen Thompson, Stephon Castle. CPU got me Miles Turner. We drafted Reza Shea, Khalil Ware, and Anthony Black. Also got Derek Jones Jr., N'Keal Alexander-Walker, Alonzo Ball, Royce O'Neal, Patrick Beverly, Vince Williams Jr., Gallinari, and Evan Fournier. So the CPU did not draft me any other players that are still on their rookie scale deal. So anybody they drafted is not eligible to be in this 10-man rotation. We kind of knew that was going to be, the majority of the case. And we are certainly going to have to make a decent amount of moves before we get into this year one. So I don't know if I'm going to play Amen Thompson at the 4. There's an argument to maybe start him at the 3, have Reza Shea come off the bench as a 6th man. But, as we make our way through these trades and see some things develop, that'll definitely become some more clear. We almost ended up drafting him in the fantasy draft, and then I was offered a deal here by the Houston Rockets that I'm going to accept. Miles Turner is a good player and would have been a really fun center if he was, about 8 years younger, but unfortunately that's not the situation we find ourselves here today. He, of course, is making real money, and Donovan Clingan is not. So we're going to make a trade here with Houston, sending out Miles Turner and Danilo Gallinari, of course, getting Clingan and a first-round draft pick here in return. So not a bad trade to kick things off. I don't really know who's going to start between Ware and Clingan, but 2 options that can be here the entire video is a really, really good start in my opinion. Next trade up is going to come with the Chicago Bulls. N'Keal Alexander-Walker and Evan Fournier are going to Chicago, and in return, we're getting ourselves Jonathan Mbogo and Jeff Doughton. Now, Doughton is not going to be eligible to be into this rotation, but Jonathan Mbogo is 22, and as you can see, certainly on his rookie scale deal, as he was the number 1 overall pick in the 2nd round of the 2024 NBA draft. So, again, at this point, just trying to get as many, rookie scale contracts as possible. Some of the positions may not be the most natural fit, where we end up slotting guys in, but as long as I have 10 on those rookie deals, I'm going to be pretty happy heading into year number 1. We're making a deal here with the Denver Nuggets, and we're going to pick up Keon Johnson in this trade. Now, Derek Jones Jr. and Patrick Beverly are being sent out, and Johnson and Zeke Naji in return. Of course, Naji will not technically be eligible to be in this rotation, but Keon Johnson does have a year of team control after this, as he was a first-round pick in 2021. So, technically speaking, he can only be here for 2 years of this video. I will likely move him after year 1 to just avoid letting him go for nothing, but I think this is a pretty good trade, and again, backup shooting guard is definitely a position of need for the moment. So, welcome to the team, Keon Johnson, and at this point, we have 9 out of 10 rotation guys sorted out. We just need to figure out whoever's going to be playing behind Anthony Black, but here at the shooting guard spot, it's going to be Stephon Castle, Keon Johnson, Zachary Reza Shea. Oh, shit, I do need to figure out a backup small forward. That I did not sort out. My apologies. I thought we already had that one figured out. So we'll do two more trades likely, and then we'll go ahead and set this rotation. A 1-for-1 swap here with the Minnesota Timberwolves. We are swapping Zeke Naji for Guy Santos. Santos, of course, only 22 years old, was the 25th pick in round 2 of the 2022 draft, and kind of similar to Keon Johnson, could technically be here for 2 seasons, but we'll likely move him after 1. Now, of course, listed as a power forward, we are likely going to slot him in at our small forward position. So I think that's a pretty good deal, and again, just got to find ourselves a backup point guard at this point, but I think we've done a pretty good job of kind of limiting the assets we've given up and getting players in return. So Santos goes up 1, and Mbogo actually does the same. Santos is a little bit shorter. He'll end up being the backup small forward. So likely 1 more trade to go. And finally, a big thank you to the Milwaukee Bucks. We, of course, were desperately looking for a backup point guard, and we found one here in Jamal Shead. Now, Jeff Doughton and Vince Williams Jr. being sent to Milwaukee, of course, getting Shead in a first-round pick. In return, Jamal Shead was the 15th overall pick in round 2 of last year's draft. He could technically be here the entire video. I think that's, again, a really good pickup. So, not only getting these rookie contracts, which, of course, is necessary if we want to continue progressing through this video, but also really being able to get some draft capital in return, because this is one of those rebuilds that draft picks are going to be super important because, of course, those guys could be here and be rotation pieces the entire time. So, I'm not saying we're going to end up being so bad to the point that we're going to have a super high draft pick. It's certainly within the realm of possibility, but I think at this point what we've gone ahead and done is set, a real solid foundation for this team. I'm not saying we're going to be really bad. I'm not saying we're going to be really good, but we definitely have some options. So I also wouldn't mind maybe moving off like Royce O'Neal and Lonzo Ball. Ultimately, they're making a lot of money, so it's kind of hard to match up those salaries with rookie contracts. But if I can get a draft pick for either of them, again, they can't be in the rotation, so it doesn't really matter. But I don't know. If there's anybody out there either on a rookie scale deal, draft pick, something like that, I'll certainly take it. Again, I can't really do anything here because they're just making so much damn money. So maybe we'll relook for Alonzo trade this offseason. Of course, he's not going to be in the rotation pretty much under any circumstances. I'll also look for one here for Royce O'Neal and hopefully just find something, right? I mean, it doesn't have to be a superstar. Honestly, I'd take a 72 overall if it meant they had a 3-year rookie contract remaining. So I'm just looking, just curious. Again, they're making decent money. Dalen Terry is technically still on his rookie deal. All right, Dalen Terry probably going to be the guy we end up making the trade for. I think that is probably our best option. Kessler Edwards is expiring after this year. Nikola Jovic actually has a year of team control after this. Huh. Now, that's not a big position of need, but we get 10 years younger. We get the same overall. I'm going to take Jovic, actually. All right, we're going to pick up Nikola Jovic. Unfortunately, Mbogo is just not going to play for now, but he can be an 11th guy in case somebody fouls out. And honestly, I'm really shocked I was able to get Nikola Jovic for that. So let's go ahead and set this 10-man rotation. Here's how year one is going to look for us in Los Angeles. We have gone ahead and finalized this rotation. Anthony Black, Stephon Castle, Zachary Rizachet. Again, I can't really get over Amen Thompson playing the power forward spot. I mean, he's obviously just an athletic freak of nature. Feels like you can really kind of plug and play him anywhere. So if I move him to the small forward spot, I am assuming his overall would jump up to close to a 90. We're not going to do that as of now, but just kind of curious and interesting to see. And then I decided to start Khalil Ware at the center spot. This isn't really, much of a, a pick and choose kind of thing. 2K suggested it. It could be either him or Donovan Clingan. It doesn't really matter. Keon Johnson will be my sixth man off the bench. Donovan Clingan right behind him. Nikola Jovic, who, again, still surprised we were able to get so easily. The backup power forward, Guy Santos, will be the backup small forward. And finally, Jamal Shed, the 10th and final man at the backup point guard spot. So Jonathan Mbogo is technically rotation eligible if he has to be. He probably won't get a lot of minutes. My one goal is just really ensuring that Lonzo Ball does not see the floor at any point. But that's the team. I have no idea what to expect. The league does tend to even out a little bit when you do fantasy drafts. So, there's a possibility this team's good enough to sneak into the playoffs, maybe playing, but I have really no idea. So I'll just see you guys at the end of year number one here in Los Angeles. I have good news and I have bad news. Let's start with the good news. We're likely going to have a really high draft pick. That is because I lead myself into the bad news. We won only 21 games. Now, when you think about this from, a bigger picture, the majority of this team is obviously made up by first and second year players. And compared to the rest of the league, when it tends to balance out, that does make a lot of sense. So I understand it. We're going to be, banking on a lot of development through this rebuild and, hopefully, a Cooper Flag potentially, or an Ace Bailey or somebody like that. So we'll figure it out. Luka does win MVP. Rizachet wins Rookie of the Year. I'm leaving here with something, let me tell you that. Kevin Porter Jr. is your sixth man. You got Wemby winning D-Point in Minnesota. Amen Thompson also wins Most Improved Player for us. Steph Curry is in Detroit. He's Clutch Player of the Year, and Jordy Fernandez there in Brooklyn, your Coach of the Year. So it is a safe assumption that 21 wins did not get us into the playoffs. 21 wins was actually worst in the West, and it was actually worst in all of basketball. I didn't know what we were going to be. I certainly didn't think we'd be this bad, but it's the reality of the situation we now find ourselves in. But, the good news is that a lot of our players looked pretty good. I mean, I'm not really complaining about any of these numbers right here. I think relatively speaking, this is a pretty solid, showing. So obviously somebody has to score the ball, but you get what I'm saying. Amen Thompson was just an absolute monster for us. All right, let's sim the playoffs. The first year of the playoffs, of course, we will not be participating. It is going to be Jaylen Brown in the Spurs going up against Kyrie Irving in the Pacers. I am just curious, what do both these teams look like? Okay, interesting. Very interesting. Simulating the finals, it is Kyrie. Holy shit, throughout a 5-game series, the man averaged damn near 41 points a game. All right, let's get into the offseason. LeBron actually spent a year in Utah before retiring. That's funny. Of course, he was probably drafted by them pretty high. I'm not sure what we are going to look to do with this pick, because I certainly think drafting somebody makes a lot of sense. It really depends where we fall, and we end up fucking, god damn it, 2K. This game just hates me. JJ Redick has some pretty good ratings, and I'm not going to blame him for the season we just had. We're a really young team. If we have really another really shitty year, maybe there's a conversation then. So we're projected to have the number 1 overall pick. Of course, we fell all the way to 5. And, while I'm not necessarily nervous about, the 5th overall pick, it's certainly a little frustrating, if you will. So a couple different things we could end up doing here. I'll see you guys with whatever move we do make. I considered a few different trades, but ultimately the majority of guys who are on their rookie scale contracts still have to go through the team player options section, and of course I cannot trade for those players until that is done. So we're going to sit here at number 5. I'll draft somebody. Flag goes number 1, Ace Bailey, Liam McNeely. Casper's here, and leaves me an option with Dylan Harper, VJ Edgecombe, Trey Johnson. So, I mean, there are certainly some talented players here. I think Dylan Harper's probably the guy we're going to go with. Now, is that the biggest position of need? I don't know if I'd say that. And we actually will use our second-round pick as well because, again, another rookie scale contract. Johnny Broom, is he Auburn? Yeah, I knew I recognized that name. I'm not great with college basketball. Alex Caravan, of course, the UConn product. I'll take Johnny Broom. Just see, maybe he ends up cracking the rotation at some point. Probably not, but we will see. 79 and 72 overall, respectively. Now, this, of course, is beautiful. This is exactly what I like to see. And I think at this point, what I've decided to do, obviously, we're not going to be using free agency here. Not that we have anybody, but we can't really use it anyway. So I think what I'll likely do here is just dump Lonzo Ball, for a draft pick. I mean, I could likely include him in a deal, but, at this point, the fact that he's still on the team feels just a little cheesy. So I'm not going to take, super advantage of anybody. Like, honestly, I'm not even going to take all this. Like, if Utah just wants to give me like a second and 29, I mean, again, sure, I could take the draft picks, but I also made 5 rookie picks in, the fantasy draft, so I don't want to be too cheesy, even if it is an unrealistic rebuild. So we'll dump off Lonzo Ball's contract. Of course, it's not like we're in salary cap hell. Everybody here is making not minimum money, but pretty damn close. So we have a few decisions to make at this point. I do think I want to make one upgrade to this team. Now, where that comes from, I am certainly not sure about that yet, but I will obviously see you guys once that's figured out. I'm going to show you guys the full list in just a minute, but unfortunately, there's not a long list of point guards that are on rookie contracts that are, on superstar potential. I mean, there are certainly some nice young point guards in the league, but unfortunately for us, they're making a metric fuck ton of money, which of course we're not allowed to trade for. So Keontae George, I know, develops super well. He's at an 81 right now. He has 2 years of team control left, so technically he can be here the entire rebuild. And although this isn't a shot at Anthony Black, I do think an upgrade would be nice, and ultimately it'd be an upgrade, as a whole in this rotation. So I'm offering up Nikola Jovic and Keon Johnson for, a couple different reasons. Johnson, Nikola Jovic, both going to be expiring after this season. Of course, I can't bring them back, so they are the logical 2 pieces to put as the center point of this deal. Now, I don't want to give up my first-round draft pick next year. There's always the possibility that we end up sucking again, and actually it just takes a Bucks pick and we get that done. So I'm actually going to hang on to everybody that's not expiring. Again, I think the depth is a really good thing at this point, because if we have to make another major trade come next offseason, obviously, we want to have some flexibility and some players that we can include in that. So the majority of this video is just going to be banking on player development, which doesn't necessarily lead to most exciting rebuild, but I do think it's a good strategy to take, and I'm happy it's the way we're going about it. So I'm pretty content. Oh, I forgot about Guy Santos. That's something we do have to figure out. I'd maybe be willing to part with a couple seconds. I'm not going to give up a ton ultimately to get a different rookie. Now, I would like to find somebody who's on a rookie scale contract that could technically qualify for this, but it's probably not a super long list. Brandon Boston would be expiring after this year, so a similar position to where we just were. Sam Hauser does not count. Gabe Vincent. Tristan Da Silva, on the other hand, would be eligible. Beautiful. Not only do we make an upgrade, in my opinion, we get it done with a player on a multi-year contract. Beautiful. Thank you very much, Houston. Welcome to the team. All right, I'll see you guys at the start of year number 2. It's the start of the second season for us here in Los Angeles. Year 1 did not go great. We had the worst record in all of basketball. Probably should have expected something like that, but I didn't really know. Now, we had a lot of really nice progression this offseason. You can see the overalls for pretty much all of these players moving in the right direction, and I think this could definitely be a playoff team here in year 2. Keontae George taking over the starting point guard spot. You got Stephon Castle, who's up to an 88 overall at my starting 2 guard. Reza Shea, an 85 now at my 3. Men Thompson's already a 90. And finally, Khalil Ware remains our starting center. Bench unit will be led by Anthony Black, Donovan Clingan, Dylan Harper, Tristan Da Silva, and Jonathan Mbogo. Now, I did go ahead and, keep Jamal Shed on this team along with Johnny Broom. These players are here in their respective rotation spots because I do not want the, auto-signed players like Justice Winslow or Garrison Matthews ever potentially cracking this rotation. That just, isn't acceptable in this video. So this is the team. I think we're in a really good spot. Hopefully, 2K agrees with me. Lord knows they like the Lakers, so let's see what happens here at the end of the I can't fucking speak. At the end of year 2. We were hoping year 2 was going to be better, and oh boy, was it. 56 and 26 is going to be the final record. Of course, that is certainly good enough for a playoff spot, maybe even a championship. Now, Victor Wembanyama would have been my number 1 overall pick if I had the case and I had the opportunity, but of course we did not. He's winning MVPs there in Minnesota. Cooper Flagg does win Rookie of the Year. Could have been a Laker, but 2K didn't want to be nice to me. Scoot Henderson wins 6th Man of the Year. Also could have traded for him. 20 points off the bench. It's very impressive. Wemby also wins Depoy. Trace Jackson Davis wins Most Improved Year. And Fox Clutch Player of the Year. Jason Kidd, Head Coach of the Year in Dallas. So we are not the 1 seed. I know that for a fact. We are the 2 seed, though. So still facing a play-in team. Here is a look at the Eastern Conference. Let's talk about some of the numbers real quick. Led in points per game by Zachary Reza Shea. You got Stephon Castle, Keontae George, Amen Thompson, Khalil Ware, Dylan Harper, Anthony Black, De Silva, Klingon, and then Mbogo. Led in rebounds by Thompson, led in assists by also Thompson. He is insane. Round 1, us in Sacramento. Damian Lillard, Isaac Okoro, RJ Barrett, JRE, Zubats, Dalton Connect, Draymond Green, Brandon Boston Jr. All right, this is a good team there in Sacramento. You know, maybe they have the best player. I don't know which way you want to go about that, but we definitely don't have the experience on our side. We do win the series in 6, and we are now taking on the MVP, the superstar, the demon, the demigod, the alien. Okay, I gotta chill. Victor Wembanyama. Also have Scotty Barnes somehow, along with Brandon Miller and Jordan Poole. Like, how does that happen? Gotta love 2K, man. Again, probably have the best player in the series there in Minnesota. No denying that. We're down 3-1. Okay, we force Game 6. Okay, we force Game 7. We lose Game 7. Disappointing end to a pretty positive season. Now, we do have one more year to go. Not going to take anything away. George was good. Thompson, tough series for Castle. Just really didn't shoot the ball well at all. Okay, I'm not mad. I don't think that's a horrible exit. Again, Wemby is just ridiculous. I'm not really sure what you're supposed to do about that, but yeah, would have been nice to have him here today. So we're going to obviously go through one more offseason. Again, we're not going to likely make 5 different trades or anything, but I do think maybe one more upgrade would be nice for this team. So I did intentionally keep my draft pick. It's at number 28. We're going to draft somebody, and whether or not they're playing for this team is certainly TBD. They could just end up being a trade piece, but I will draft somebody strictly for the point of having them on this team and in this rotation. So number 28 overall, let's just see who's sitting here. Malachi Moreno is somebody I've drafted before. According to our scouting department, he is the only C overall player. Also got Bryce James sitting here. Funny enough, but I'll take Malachi Moreno. So welcome to the team, 7'1" out of Kentucky. He's going to be a 71 overall. Everybody here is going to be brought back. This, of course, is just a thing of beauty. And then we'll now get into qualifying offers and free agency, which of course we're really not going to, have anything to do with. So one more trade, I think, as I mentioned, hopefully should solidify this team. We're going to go ahead and see if we can do something that does not happen too often. Trade between the two teams in Los Angeles. We're looking to add Alex Sarr to this team, ultimately at an 87 overall. He would be a nice upgrade at this center spot. And while I don't necessarily think this is, a move that absolutely needs to happen, I'd like to upgrade at least one position, and I think center is the logical choice. So everybody in this deal is in here for a certain reason. Of course, Klingon and Moreno, both being centers, would be out of the rotation if we were to add Sarr, and of course we still do go ahead and have Khalil Ware. And then Jamal Shed was out of the rotation last year, likely would have been out of it again with George and Black. So if he can just be another trade piece in here, I'd certainly be willing to make that happen. So I'd give up whatever pick necessary, of course. Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Los Angeles Clippers. Alex Sarr, Khalil Ware would be my two centers. It's going to be Thompson. I wouldn't mind maybe looking to upgrade that backup power forward spot or small forward. I can confidently say that Dylan Harper will end up progressing pretty well, but maybe if there's a little move at either the backup 3 or the backup 4. I mean, again, I don't really know who's going to be sitting here that's going to be like superstar, or again, I'm not getting a superstar, but you understand what I'm saying. So somebody, again, on a rookie contract. A lot of these guys are actually our own players. I think technically I could trade for Azar Thompson. You see that 1 year, $11 million? So he has signed an extension, but that extension will not kick in at any point in this video, and he's technically on the final year of his rookie contract, as is his twin brother, Amen Thompson. So if there's any way to maybe get this done, I think this would be a pretty good idea. So I would be willing to part with Tristan Da Silva and Johnny Broom. And again, I don't have a lot of draft picks, but if there's any way to get this done with the 3 we have remaining, they want Mbogo. I can't take Jared Vanderbilt. Doesn't really work out like that. Okay, one more first. They're not doing it. All right, what other names are here? Could go after Jalen Wells, currently listed as a small forward. Kuminga. Yeah, he's extended, so that doesn't work. Demance is not going to happen. Keyshawn George could be a fun possibility at the backup 3, or backup 4, excuse me. Again, not a superstar or anything like that, but a lot of potential. Of course, still on that rookie scale deal, and that makes a lot of sense for me. So that's one more upgrade we've made in this starting 5. This team is officially all set with 10 players. I'll see you guys at the start of the final regular season. This team is absolutely loaded. There is no doubt about that in my mind. Look at this team. Look at the depth. Look at the overalls. It has to be a championship season. It just really does. Anthony Black's actually back in the starting lineup. Now, I'm doing this for a couple reasons. First and foremost, he's 1 overall higher than Keontae George. Second, 2K is recommending it. Typically, when you do what 2K recommends, you have a little bit more success. So Anthony Black back in the starting 5. Stephon Castle, who's up to a 93 overall, is my starting shooting guard. Reza Shea in here, Amen Thompson, who is also a 93 overall. And of course, the new addition here with Alexander Sarr. Bench unit will be led by Dylan Harper, Khalil Ware, Keontae George, Keyshawn George, and finally Tristan Da Silva. I hope it is enough. I really, really do. I think obviously the talent is here. It's just about going out and making the thing happen at this point. See you guys at the end of the final regular season. I highly doubt this is a major surprise to anybody, but year 3 was our best season yet, and it wasn't even close. We go 75-7, breaking a record in NBA history. Yeah, it just kind of is what it is at this point, but again, it doesn't mean jack shit without a championship. Now, this guy, he's pretty good. Wemby wins another MVP. AJ DeBant's the Rookie of the Year. Wow, 26 points a game as a rookie. What? De'Aaron Fox is coming off the bench in Chicago as your 6th man of the year. You got Wemby also winning DPOY. Ace Bailey wins Most Improved. Steph Curry still winning Clutch Player of the Year. And our guy, Mr. JJ Redick, is your Coach of the Year. So let's take a look at the standings. No surprise, we were the 1 seed, had the best record in basketball. Here are the numbers. Doesn't really matter to me too much at this point because, again, we are just winning games. All right, first round of the playoffs. Us in Memphis. Devin Booker, Brandon Pajemski, Kawhi Leonard, Jeremy Sohan, Goga Patazde, Miles Bridges, Malachi Branham, Hugo Gonzalez. All right, pretty good team there in Memphis, especially for a first-round matchup. That being said, I will say that we're better. Even though we may lack some experience, we win the series in 5. Phoenix, Jamal Murray, Jaden Springer, Jarris Walker, Jalen Johnson. Oh, I didn't, I was like, what the hell? And then, yeah, this guy came along. So, Jokic, similar. He's definitely the best player in the series. I think we're a better team. Up 2-1 at the moment. They tie it at 2-2. We go down 3-2. Force Game 7, win Game 7. Holy shit, that was stressful. New Orleans here. LaMelo Ball, Julian Strawther, Jalen Tyson, Evan Mobley, Jalen. Oh my, what the? How many fucking big men do you need? Oh my God. It is time for the Western Conference Finals. It is a quick 3-0 lead for us, and it looks like that series against Jokic is going to end up being our most stressful. Why do I speak? Why do I speak? These things always fucking happen when I speak. And we do win the series. Amen Thompson is your conference finals MVP. Same with Steph Curry over there in Detroit. So, he has Walker Kessler, which is a nice piece. DeAndre Hunter, Herb Jones. I think we're better. I really genuinely do. 2-0 lead for us at this point. 3-0 lead. We run them out of their own damn building. And Amen Thompson, holy shit. Finals MVP. I mean, again, the shooting splits aren't great, but everything else is just out of this world insane. Okay. This was a fun video. It was definitely a little bit more challenging than I thought, just because I thought there'd be a few more names at certain positions to trade for. There were obviously not a ton of point guards for us, but we put together a really good team, and I really did enjoy this video, and I hope you guys did as well. So let me know any other challenges down below in the comment section. Always open to ideas on this. This is a pretty fluid series, if you will, of a bunch of different things we can do, and I know you guys are super creative with it, so I'd love to hear from you guys. But that'll do it for me. Actually, I'm just curious. If I move Amen Thompson to like small forward, 96 overall. That is so fucking insane. All right, man. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.